I need to share screen too, you know.
Hello, all, and welcome to another match within ESA Cup. Now, we've only got one match for you tonight, and it is going to be Boobats versus Vivid United, and then we will get pretty much into it. That's pretty much it. Straightforward. One game, right into it, right away. Start straight away. It was due to start 10 minutes ago, but we were a wee bit late just because there were some issues with the lobby and stuff like that. But we're now up and running, and we're now looking at the map bans. So we'll have a look and we'll get those covered just now. Arya is going to be the one that runs through the map bans for you, though, and we'll have a look at where we are going.
So, as you can see on your screen, I want to head to the beautiful map of Bank for tonight. Bank, we've only actually seen once in this tournament so far, so it's going to be its second time in the prevalent matchup history. So it's going to be an interesting match, Sam. What are your predictions coming out of this match? Going into this match, I should say.
Aggression coming out from probably Vivid. Let's be honest here. Vivid were great. The first game I've casted, I'm pretty sure Vivid, they were brilliant. I didn't have too good a game last week though, so hopefully this time they're able to pick it up a little bit.
Bobat didn't have a great game either, though. So this is, two teams last week didn't have the best of games. It's going to be definitely a toss-up here on who could come away with this victory. I'm going to put a prediction in, though, say 7-4 Vivid. What are you going to give it?
I'm actually going to be a little bit more ambitious and say 7-1 the Vivid. Just because that seems to be the lay of the land when it comes to our matchups. They always seem to be pretty one-sided. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was what happened.
I don't think me and you have had a close matchup in quite some time.
I think we've had one the entire season yet, to be honest. I think every single one's either been 7-1, 7-2, and if the ones have managed to get at least a couple of rounds, it's usually finished 7-4. I think that's it. I don't think we've ever got any other ones, really, past the 4 rounds.
But as we say that, we're going to hop into the operator bans. As we see Habon taken off the board. Again, just making those hatches that little bit harder to take out. A Ying ban, again, pretty much it can be a standard ban, as Ying attacks are quite frustrating to deal with and a little bit difficult at times. A Solus ban, Sham. Let's talk about the Solus ban real quick. Why do you think Solus is taken out?
Well, I'm not surprised. It's a pretty common ban, to be honest. It's been really common at SI, most banned operator at SI currently, and then of course it is the most played operator if it is on the board, which is very rarely. So, really not surprised to see Solus go, to be honest.
Definitely not surprising. And then the Mira ban, again, that's a pretty typical ban. It's not out of the ordinary. I don't think there's no actual operator ban there that we see that's unusual or sparks a little bit of an idea of what might happen.
Yeah, I mean the Habana ban as well is standard, just like you were saying about the Mira one. Again, it's for the hatches. That's basically it. Banna's pretty much always banned on this, and if she does slip through, then it's for someone who has usually got plans for defending the hatches. But Cade's got through though, which is always nice to see.
Nice to see, but Cade not as much of a nuisance as the Solus can be, as the Solus can be an absolute thorn in the side. If anyone was watching SI today, we saw Wolves hop off with a 2k through the floor as diffusers was getting stuck, just to show how powerful the Solus can be. Which, I don't think a lot of these teams are wanting to play against Solus yet. Maybe give it a season or two, you might get a nerf, and you actually just get extra. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned the Cade there, and it wasn't actually. It's not going to make an appearance on this first round purely because they're actually playing with the hatches open. So you can see that just inside open area that is opened up. That was the Azami Gonax that opened it up, just so that they can make sure they've got some options. I'm assuming that they're going to play some sort of roam, spread themselves out a little bit and show a little bit of resistance to the attacking side. But we'll certainly get a look at what they have in store for us on the bottom floor defense.
Definitely going to see a pretty high prevalence of top floor players, as you mentioned, hatches are open, so the defenders can rotate back into the site if there is too much pressure applied. But as we see with Vivid, typically they'll always go top down and take the control, as we can see here, as the Jackal just getting these drones, making sure there's no one to top square, and they are able just to push in easily. That IQ, again, just looking for those gadgets, just making the attack a little bit easier. And that's actually going to be Jackal ping, and there's going to be aware now of the person on those blue stairs. But no pressure will be applied as of much yet. It's just Jackal that's going to be trying and pinching that player off, make sure no rotate will happen. We see some tier 4 starts coming out here, Sam. Shield and blue.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty standard strat, to be honest. I've never I'm never surprised to see it. It did disappear for a little while after the utility meta kind of died off, but it's nice to see he's back. I like seeing Smoke back in blue. It's always good. It's like his home. It's like his little grotto. And it's nice that he'll be there for the majority of the round. And while we're just having that discussion, no, Vivid started to run away the round. Goatnax was the first to fall, and its form there, it has just started to collapse for the side of Boobats there. Philip taking off the board at the same time as Damien. It was just the two remaining players inside the site. The pretty effective roam clear from Vivid now, as they have now got the control of everything that they need on this middle floor. Now it begins the site push. The execution will begin. Temp inside of the red area, now Stoney down at the bottom there, but Russ just drops the hatch, pops in, just sends a bullet straight into the skull of Temp, though, and gets himself the double kill. Flawless round from Vivid, and they start off strong, steamrolling Boobats there with that clear through the map.
Boobats, deer in the headlights, no response.
Yeah.
I think you might be right, Sean. I hate to say it, but I think your 7-1 prediction is unfortunately going to be the truth.
Yeah, that's the Vivid I've seen that game. I think it was last week. Not 100% sure. It might have been the week before, but that's the Vivid that I've seen then. Steamrolling teams there. They just absolutely sent it into the map, and it was almost like they kind of stalled for a second. They got the drones, they were waiting, and then it was just like it was almost like a Viper attack. They just jumped instantly, and that was it. 4 members off the board for Vivid there. Sorry, for Boobats, and it was a wonderful round.
Again, one thing we need to mention though, the side of Boobats at the moment are not currently using the old roster. There is 3 new players in the roster as we speak. So that is definitely not going to be the best help for them heading into the matchup. I guess against a well-known team like Vivid, who have kept the roster pretty much the same for the last couple of play weeks, but they're well used to playing as that team. But they said Boobats, it's a new team, and there's definitely going to be some setting-in issues taking place.
Yeah, the thing is as well, if you're changing your roster like that, I don't think it's the best idea to try and play such spread out strats. I always think that you should just try and play the turtle strats, try and play the standard ones, get a little bit of form, a little bit of cohesion before you start to spread things out and rely on a lot of coordination, because that kind of roam game they're going for, that's exactly what it needs. It needs cohesion, it needs good communication for it to be successful, and it's not quite the idea for a new roster, I don't think.
Especially with the lack of team chemistry, because you know, both of us have played comp at one point, and team chemistry is just something that does not come instantly. It's something that gains over time, you know, scrimming constantly, practicing, and everyone just kind of getting along. And we haven't seen these 5 players, and I'm pretty sure only recently they were looking for players. So this is definitely only in the last week at maximum that this change has occurred, so it's no surprise.
Yep, first pick there on the board over Vivid, and it's Kodaf to get himself a double inside the CEO office as he's able to clear through there using that Amaro. Philip though's going to bite one back at least, and at least brings it into a 4 versus 3 situation, finding one that is Vincey that's dealt with, the Jackal. So at least they'll have a little bit of comfort knowing that their footsteps are clear and safe, so they can move around the map without that knowledge getting fed into the attacker's hands. But being healthier inside of open area, they are aware that Philip is in here. The information has been fed back to the team and know that that is exactly where the player is. So they're just going to start to drone it out, make sure that they can find the exact positioning of where Philip is. You can see Russ is holding onto the open air and actually comes across the crosshairs there. Philip is somehow able to avoid all of the damage there. Still inside the kitchen and open area though, so Exia will go for the rotate round and try and get the pinch move going in. As just as I said, that Kodaf decides to drop the hatch and gets aggressive there, but through the wall, Exia is on the other side to wait for Philip to rotate out and is able to collect that kill. Now it's a 4 versus 2 situation. Temp and Damien left again in this 2 versus 4 inside the site. Temp's the one inside of red, hasn't budged the entire 2 rounds, has just stayed in this one area because that is usually the plan for the smoke there. Damien though tries to get aggressive, hits an air jab, and Zenak is there to capitalise on the sound and the down that happened there as well. Temp now in a 1 versus 4 though, not enough energy in the tank though for them to win that round at all, and even doesn't even get a sniff of a clutch. Is shut down pretty convincingly from the Nomad. And that'll be another round going for Vivid. And again, I spoke about it, the spreading out, the team cohesion is not the play, I don't think, at the minute. I think they need to start playing together and as a team here and stick close to each other at this time.
Definitely not looking the best here for the side of Boobats. As you mentioned, there's no team cohesion yet. So spreading out like that and losing 2 players, top floor and CEO, when your basement site, yes, you'd have to have players, you know, they know where, like, kind of an idea where the push is coming from. But when you're this early on in the team, you're not going to have the chemistry that is needed to hold that top four in CEO. So it's a bit of a surprise to know why Bobats are doing it. It's probably purely just because they're running off the old stocks from the old team, but that's not ideal in this kind of a situation when you're playing with 3 new people in a roster.
Yeah, well, they've changed something at least. They've decided to go to the top floor this time. They're going to go up to that CEO office area and try and defend the executive lounge as well. So they've changed something. So it's nice to see. They've got some different operators as well. You see the Echo coming along, the Castle. They've brought along the Jaeger as well this time. And pretty much all the operators changing with the exception of the Azami. The Gonax is still on as well. So they've changed something. They've got an idea at least.
There's something there for the side of Bobats. They're looking to try swap things back up after 2 unsuccessful rounds down in the basement. Hopefully this is the site where, typically you don't have to extend as much. You can if you want, but it's a lot of teams don't unless, the Solus is on play or you want to kind of run something like that. So it's not, this is probably one of the better sites for Bobats as, new team. There's very little really they have to extend on, as I've mentioned. So this definitely could be a round where they could potentially take it. But then again, it's locked for 3 or more rounds. So it's not ideal only having one site you can play.
Yeah, Vivid here getting us started with the attack. Just moving up straight to the roof here to try and get potentially someone off guard on that staircase there. It's a nice angle to hold there. It's a good place to hold off the rotate. Anyone coming up that main stair area though. First pick here, Kodaf though, is going to be the one that gets a kill and a down from the window. You can see the down on to Zgotnax there, and it's Damien that has fallen. The Vivid have had Kodaf on that rappel there just onto the ATMs area, and they were the one that was able to get it. But look, there's another one through the wall there, but it's a castle barricade that actually stops the kill coming in from that pre-fire through the barricade, and Philip's going to find at least one salvation there onto Zenak and his temp there that's inside of Janitor at this moment in time. Has a shotgun in hand, is aware that they will be starting to sniff around this Janitor closet to try and get in there and get some map control. Through in towards Terrace though, and now in towards the top square though. A nice angle found there from Russ, who finds Stoney straight through the long angle all the way towards the lounge area, and now it's Vincey to find another one onto Philip. Russ finds a double onto the round, and it's Gotnax that's dealt with this time in a 1 versus 4 situation, but the coverage is there. Nicely done. Temp just went out for the swing. I thought they had the Finca, but the coordination there from Vivid, the coverage on the Dukabe there, just waiting for someone to swing round, and is able to get that final pick. And Vivid go 3 rounds flush all the way. Looks like they're pretty strong in the minute, if I'm totally honest.
Tactical timeout though coming out here from side of Bobats.
Yeah.
Trying to just pick up the pace and try and collect what has gone wrong. As let's be realistic, that site CEO is the site you should probably win. It's one of the the stats show it's a more defender heavy site than any of the rest. So Bobats are they're just not having a good day. Just not having a good day. The team cohesion ain't there, and there's an absolute insane amount of chemistry coming out from the side of Vivid. So again, you can't really have no chemistry against as much chemistry as they have. It's not the best.
Yep, you say that though, however, the timeouts have proven to be at least improved teams throughout the tournament. Most of the timeouts they've been able to get the immediate round after, and maybe a couple. It's not always won them the game, but it's at least ignited some sort of fire underneath them to at least get a couple of rounds on the board. So I'm hoping that we see that. If not, it's going to be a really quick night for Vivid.
Again, we're heading down to CC Lockers. If we see the extend happen again, we might as well just throw out the round. An extend is just not going to be the play, and I hope Bobats can, in their tactical timeout, have discussed that it's not the play. They should not do it. But somehow I still get a feeling that we're going to see at least some sort of an attempt at a top hold. It just get that feeling. You
say that, however, the operator we spoke about right at the start is on the board. Cade is here. He's arrived finally after 3 rounds. It's very rare that they get through a ban phase because of so much hatch play. So it's almost a missed opportunity so far for Blue Ads to not have played the Cade and not have actually focused on holding these hatches and instead open them up and give that the potential for the map control to be given up. Damien there reinforcing that hatch side open area, Gotnax doing the one inside the closet as well. So they've changed it up. They've been able to hear us through the ether. They've managed to understand that they should change things up a little bit and go back to that standard turtle strat. But we see that Cavs out on the roam. There is at least that rogue element to this defense for this round.
There's a bit of a rogue element of having the cav out, but if you can just go down to like the square hatch, and I think they're doing a blue extend, which is actually what they're doing. That's going to be a lot stronger, hopefully, for side of Bobats, and it should make Vivid put them under a little bit more pressure, as they can't just get the easy picks that they have been getting off the bat. Yes, Cav, you can pick off the Cav lead in a 4 versus 5, but there's still going to be 4 of the members that are all going to be holding you to pixels or very tight angles that you're going to have to try and fight against, which not in a situation to be in whatsoever.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be the jig up there for the Cav. I thought they were going to get the information that they had one on the board, but it's actually Smoke that's caught out there. Rusto is going to find Cav on the top floor. Look at that. I think the call was made. I think they knew they were underneath the table inside of that Trump area, CEO office, if you're not aware of that call, front desk area. Rust is able to get that kill onto the Cav area, and Philip's going to have 0 impact on this round, so because the information was there. Someone clearly knew it was happening, and now the attackers look like they're in a comfortable position.
Comfortable position, Cav's off the board. There's still 4 members left, but the hatches are going to get popped now using those can openers. The pressure should be applied here around a minute 10 to a minute left in the round. And this is where the real flurry of kills should be coming out, as that main stairs pressure is coming down. Smokes are going to get thrown. Please get ready for some action.
Put in the Wamai magnets though, so there'll be at least a little bit of hesitancy there from Xenac before they push down, because the jig is essentially up that they are in that position. They'll be aware, Damien will know that, so you can see Damien hopping back through in towards that red area, knows that there will be someone coming down that main stairs and gets a little bit aggressive, pushes up towards the loading dock area and now holds the angle onto the door. Do they know though they're in a little bit of a Mexican standoff? Someone needs to move. The gun is spied, but somehow the Jackal gets across, but back through, not able to survive those shots coming in from Damien. Xenac is dealt with. Xayah finds one on a temp and a real Stoney finds another. It's 3 versus 3 situation. Xayah's dropped in towards the elevator area and Rusto finds Damien eventually inside of the red area. Now Stoney holding in. He's replaced Damien inside of red, now pushes up towards the doorway, and I don't think they're aware of the fact that the players came around the back 3 versus 1 though, but he's going to turn his back on the player inside of garage here, and Xayah finds the final pick onto Stoney, not aware of the fact there's someone just behind them, and Vivid are going to take another round that looked as though there was at least a sniff of a chance that they could actually get around on the board for Boobats, but nope, Vivid said no.
Gotta give credit to Boobats. Yes, they didn't take the round, but they adapted their setup for CC lockers. They held more into blue and held the stairs. They were holding the stairs before, but they just focused more on the site instead of going for like stem, which, bringing the Cav wasn't exactly your play. It just wasn't. But still, bringing all those operators just to hold the basement instead of actually going for your extend was definitely worked for them. Like we saw the flurry kills coming out was down to a 3v3. It wasn't just a one-sided flurry kills in favor of Vivid as we have seen. So it's definitely a nice improvement to see. It's not a round conversion, but it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Yep, I think the only detriment there was that Cav play. I wouldn't go as far to say that it wasn't the play. I think the issue was the fact that they stayed in the one position under that desk up in the front desk area. The information was clearly gathered early, like super early. They knew right away. Russ went on the hunt. We didn't quite see it because we were spectating somewhere else, but Russ went straight there and then pre-fired actually, and actually got the wallbang through the desk onto the Cav before they even had a sniff of a chance to even fight back. So it was shut down before there was even any chance for the Cav to make any impact, and I don't think that's to the full blame of the Cav. I think that's just great play from Vivid, who knew where the player was going to be. A little bit disappointed though to see another roamer coming out in the form of Vigil this time from Philip, because the roamers just haven't been working, and I think at this point you kind of need to just call it quits. So hopefully Philip proves me wrong in this round though.
Hopefully, that's what we'd like to see. If Philip can get 1, maybe even 2 frags on this roam, it wouldn't play an absolute dividends here to the side of Bobat.
Oh no.
But as we see, the monkey is already in blue, and this smoke behind the shield is going to get pressure heavily. How the side of Bobats are not going to be starting putting more pressure on the server, they should really. But as we say, that's going to be the smoke for them, and now that's blue stairs and blue control fully gained inside of Bobat, or into the side of Vivid, I should say. As we say, that Vinci is going to fall. That's going to be a sense. Major operator take down as they can drop those flashlights down. Make life just a little bit more difficult for defenders. But this Vigil is still a life top square, as identified as of yet. This could become absolutely huge, as we mentioned, their own game.
I hope it does. I hope Philip is able to get an impact here, but the drone there won't have seen the vigil, but will know there is a vigil there, because of course you can see the little kind of barcode that comes around the edge of those drones when there is that information though. But look at this, potentially the freebie, but no, we can't quite get the shots there. Philip does a massive damage onto Russ though, takes him down to about 20 HP. Zenek though is going to find the real Stoney inside the site, and Philip now has to try and get something, at least make this a little bit profitable before heading back to the site. No, he decides to give that map control up to Vivid and goes back down to help their teammates inside of the site. Now it's a 3 versus 4 situation, although Vivid are not doing the greatest in terms of the HP. Xayah up onto the doorway into CCTV, knows that he has to keep pressure down so the plant can be attempted. It is the diffuser in the hand of Xayah, so they will be the one to try and get themselves down and get that plant on the ground. Zenak will find another one onto Bubats there, and now it's a 3 versus 4. I was about to say it's a 4 versus 1 situation though, but look, Zenek pops in there. Templo is able to find one, spots another one, and is not able to land the shots just yet though. Waits for the pre-fire to come through and is able to pepper it in, and no, Kovdaft is able to finish it off for Vivid. A great attack again, and Bubats look as though they are staring down the barrel of a 7-0 defeat so far.
It's not looking the best for Bubats, and only having the smoke play solo without having any pressure inside of blue on its own. It's a bit of an unusual one. Not having the smoke, at least the Monty was able to, player was able to push him somewhere, and the pinch just happened. It was just imminent. The death of the smoke was just going to happen. Again, the roam game, as we mentioned previous rounds, looked a lot stronger, but those shots just weren't there. The vigil was eventually just picked off before any heavy impact could have been netted.
Vivid's team play has been amazing though. Like, the defenses that they've put out for Bubats have been, to be honest, like, for lack of a better word, they've been pretty pathetic. They've left so many gaps in their defense there, and every single time Vivid find the hole, they just send it straight in. They go, look, yeah, they're not defending this area, or they're giving us that for free, we're just going to take it, we're going to do exactly that. And every single time they've won it out because of it. You know, that last one, like you say, they should have had someone in server. They didn't. That's basic stuff. If you have someone doing a blue extension, you have to have someone in server to stop that flank from coming, from people dropping the hatch or people coming in through dirt. And they just weren't expecting the Monty play. And Monty is a strong operator on that bottom floor. It's a very common operator to be played on that one. So it's something that they should have expected, and no one was even aware of the fact that it could have happened.
Like, if they say they had to swap the vigil for a little bit of a mute or something, you know, along those lines, had the mute playing server, it would have worked a lot better. You'd have to sit close with shotty on the sewer, and the Monty wouldn't have been able to push up. Any support with the Monty couldn't have pushed up. A shotgun is sitting point blank. You're not going to try and peek a shotgun at that close range. So that would have held off the Monty. The smoke probably could have lived, got a frag off the blue stairs, and that round could have been completely different for inside the Bubats. But that just wasn't there. That was not seen in the pro flipped. So it's a bit strange to know what Bubats is trying to do. As you mentioned, their defenses is not there. It looks like, you know, they're trying to throw things together, hoping it works. But we've also got to give credit to inside of Vivid, whose team play has been absolutely insane.
Yep, and just as we say that, it's the same scenario as before. Vivid is trying to get the information around the map, trying to get themselves prepared for whatever execute that they have in mind. Everybody's setting themselves up in these positions, and it's just a case of waiting for Bubats. We just need to hold on, see what's going to happen. And just as we say that, somebody goes to hop for a run out, and it's Xayah to get the first pick onto the real Stoney. We went for the hop out. I don't actually know where they'll put that claymore. I think it's on the bottom floor, but I'm not 100% sure where that will have came out. But doesn't really matter. Another member down for Bubats, and they will hopefully have something in mind to get this. But look at this, a team kill that's potentially going to be the chew-in for, or at least leave the door open for Bubats to get a comeback here that brings it into a balanced situation. It's a 4 versus 4, sorry. That wall's, they've been leaving that wall soft the entire time, and that's where Vivid got all of their kills the last time. There's no one that plays off of this wall, and that's where they're. So you've got someone turned their back to it. This is what I mean. They're just not playing together, not telling each other what the setups are. Damien's get down for his trouble there, and will be taken off the board from what is essentially just a free angle that's been left open for the defenders. Then the attackers just decided to profit off of it, of course. Temp now, also dealt with. Kodaf's going to flick across there. Longer angle, holds it out, takes Temp off the board now. Are they aware of the fact that Philip's inside his sight? I don't actually think they are aware of that fact. And at least Philip's going to get one. 3 versus 1 situation, kills the planter, gets a double now. And it's suddenly looking doable for Philip, who more than likely should have dropped the hatch, to be honest, to get himself out of that situation. Isn't aware of someone at the long angle. Vince hops out, kills Philip. And that's another round for Vivid there, as they are looking like they're going to take this 7-0.
They're looking down the barrel of a 7-0 right now. It's not ideal, but once you have such a high level of chemistry against a new team, this is imminent. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Bobat's getting 7-0'd with a brand new roster against a roster that's well established and has the chemistry built. It's just basic stuff at this point. I don't think anyone can be surprised at that.
It's unfortunate to see, but this is just the trials and tribulations of new rosters. You will make those mistakes when you don't have cohesion, when you've not played together as a full team. Maybe they've not had enough time to scrim. Maybe they've not prepped this map. But it's basic stuff. I think they're trying to do these extravagant strats that they've clearly seen. Because everybody knows that you play with that wall half open. Everyone knows that that's a good strat. Everyone knows that works, because you see it in Pro League, you see it in higher ranked games, you see that all the time. They'll be used to playing that kind of strat. However, when you're doing that in a comp game and you're not actually playing off of it and you're not actually utilising it, you're just doing it because you've seen that that's something that works elsewhere and you're not actually understanding why it's good, then other teams are going to punish you for that, and that's exactly what happened. You leave a wall open, Vivid are just going to pop through it and get a couple of kills from it.
Just Vivid have been absolutely amazing on finding those little, cracks in the armour that Bobat is leaving. And saying that, Bobats have left massive cracks in the armour. It just looks like they're just not aware of what they're doing at all. It looks just they're deer in the headlights. So it's not an ideal situation. The team just doesn't look like they're playing as one unit. They're just, everyone looks like they're doing their own thing and hoping for the best. Like, realistically, in this situation, all Bobats needs to do, their defense is gone, so their best chances have probably just faded away on them. Won't lie to you. But on the defenses, if they had just stuck with basics, there's no need to do these big, extravagant strats, as you were saying. Just stick with the basics. The basics are tried and tested, they work. But they just never attempted it. So it's, the one round they did attempt, they almost won.
Yep.
So this is definitely going to be interesting how they do work on their attacks, as attacks can be quite difficult. There's so many different positions, and you need a strong amount of to try and clear out players.
Yep. It's not even as simple as just doing the basics, because the basics are obviously things like having that wall open. I'd say it's even simpler than that. It's just do a turtle strat. Just have 5 members in sight. Just have 5 members, reinforce everything off, defend those walls, and just do that. Don't bother with extensions. Don't play off of these funny shields or anything like that, because it's just been to their detriment the whole time. Their attack is looking like it's piecing together a little bit better, though, because they're doing a little bit of work on the bottom floor. You can see that they have the control inside the archives. The nades have been coming up from below. There's still one in the pocket for Stoney. No one's even interested in challenging it, though, from Vivid. They're all just playing together, and this is what I wanted to see from Boobats on their defense. I wanted to see them just holding their ground, playing together. Philip, though, is going to be the first one to fall. It's Rust that finds that pick outside on square and gets aggressive. Now Rust looking for another one, sees that one behind, but it's actually their teammate to find the kill first. Kodaf finds Gotnax, and now it's a 2 versus 1 situation. It's all just coming apart here, and Kodaf gets dealt with eventually after getting a triple, and Stoney left with it all to do on the Ayana. Has to come out on top here, though. Long shot coming through. The ping is there. They have the information that the shield is currently being played. Look at that long angle that's been held all the way through here from the Azami there. Not quite got the optics that can serve the best usage for that long angle. Exilo gets aggressive, gets up onto the doorway, swings out, and not enough HP on the side for Stoney, and that is it. 7-0. All she wrote for Vivid. They were not messing around. They wanted to come in and out of the server, and that is exactly what they've done. 7-0 victory. So easy for them. They were brilliant to watch, gelled together perfectly. The cohesion was there on the attack, cohesion was there on the defense, and a wonderful matchup for them this evening. Boobats, unfortunately, will lose out yet again. Vivid going to 9 points this time, and they are now well within contention of the top of the group.
Definitely was an easier match for the side of Vivid, as Boobats just didn't show up this matchup. They all just were not there for this game, which is unfortunate to see. But again, as we mentioned many a time, with a brand new roster, there's never an instant cohesion. but you always hope for, them sticking with, there's no need to do extravagant strats or make yourself look flashy if you stick with basics. That's all it came down to in that match for their defenses. Is just no one wanted to do the basics. Everyone wanted to kind of put on a bit of a show.
Yep.
So it's definitely not the best, and that probably was the ultimate demise of the side of Blue Bats. Hopefully next week we get to see something better from them. They get an extra week. They have time for scrims. So definitely we could see something better from them. But at the moment, it's not looking the best.
Yep, in terms of the groups, that leaves us in a kind of spicy situation at the top there. Team Black are currently sitting on 12 points. Now, this is Group B that we're discussing. Team Black are at the top, 12 points, 4 out of 4 victories. Penta just behind them, sniffing up the back of their neck with 9 points. I believe they're still to play a game as well, so not quite played 4 games. You have Molotov Gang, the UK roster. They are 2-1 at the moment, so they're on 6 points. Vivid, obviously, of course, after that win, will now go up onto 9 points after their 4 games, and it's starting to get close at the top. The bottom, there's a couple of situations that have actually worked out a little bit, especially for Blue Bats. Team Dragoni were unfortunately disqualified, so there could be a couple of free points getting issued out over the weeks. It just really depends how they fall. So there's a couple of guarantees here and there. Palar Kake are at the bottom, 3 points. Blue Bats still on 3 points as well. Native on 6 points at the moment, and there are still a couple of games to be played as well over the weekend that will update this group as well. So, but that is it. In and out, straightforward. It'll be 40-minute game, not even that half an hour. I think that's probably the quickest game we played. 7-0 for Vivid. Easily take it. Easily the best we've seen, I think, in terms of the attacking bank. That was a great example of the attacks. It was brilliant to watch. But that's going to be it from us tonight. You can all go back and continue watching SI and enjoy that. I'll be back tomorrow with more ESA as well. I think the start time for that will be around about 8 o'clock, not 100% sure. I think it's Central Eastern Time as well. So tune in tomorrow for more of me. And have you got anything else you want to cover, Arya?
No, I think we've pretty much covered all of it. That's, we've said what we could. We've given as much criticism and, constructive criticism at that. So hopefully Blue Bats will watch back this VOD, hear what we said, take it on board, and hopefully next week we'll see a stronger team.
Yep, I hope to see it. But until then, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.